YouTube, welcome to my channel, Anna Bella, and today I'm going to be doing my Bellamort series. We're going to continue on with Bellamort Part 3, understanding the relationship between Lord Voldemort and Bellatrix Lestrange, or Black. Anyway, moving on. If you go to the Wizarding World's website and tap in Bellatrix Lestrange, you get a lovely infographic that has got oodles of facts, and even that acknowledges that the relationship between Lord Voldemort and Bellatrix is a complex one. She has 29 mentions in the whole of the Harry Potter 7-book series. 29 of those are to do with Bellatrix. The reward that Lord Voldemort babbles on about in Goblet of Fire is basically that he will be the sperm donor for them, because Rodolphus Lestrange, for reasons unknown and not specified, is apparently firing blanks. And Bellatrix is okay with that. Weirdly enough, her loyalty is the thing that attracts Lord Voldemort to her, and weirdly enough she does get to have Hufflepuff's cup in her vault, which is slightly disturbing and sort of foreshadowing the pregnancy, but we're going to get to that. First of all, Order of Phoenix is where their relationship really changes. And it starts from when he rescues all of the Death Eaters out of Azkaban. It's when Tom Riddle goes there, releases all the Death Eaters and also Bellatrix as well. But in actual fact, what I think actually happened was he went specifically to get her and got all the other boys as well, including her husband and her brother-in-law, Rodolphus and Rastaban, and several others as well. But I think that from that moment on, their relationship became more complicated because it wasn't straightforward. It never was straightforward. They couldn't go back to the relationship of master-servant that they've had in the First War. Something had changed. Either Lord Voldemort's priorities had changed regarding Bella, or the fact that he considered her worthy of the reward, that she'd done enough service. And it's quite interesting when you get to the battle in the Ministry. Look, I'm going to actually read to you from the book. That it's interesting what actually happens here, because the film of Order of Phoenix is completely different, because in this one Bellatrix Lestrange gets pinned by one of the golden centaurs from the Magical Brethren fountain. You don't get that in the films at all. In the film she uses one of the chimneys and escapes that way as soon as Lord Voldemort arrives. That's not how it is in the book. She's present throughout that battle and Dumbledore has to pin her down with a centaur so that she doesn't flee. And then it's quite interesting what actually happens next. Blah de blah de blah de blah de blah. And then, for a few seconds, Voldemort was visible only as a dark ripple, faceless figure simmering and indistinct upon the plinth, clearly struggling to throw off the suffocating mask. This is the only one he ever feared, page 719. Numbers, me don't mix if you didn't know. Then he was gone, and the water fell with a crash back into its pool, slopping wildly over the sides, drenching the polished floor. Master, screamed Bellatrix. That's the last time she speaks in this scene. Sure, it was over. Sure, Voldemort had decided to flee. Now at this point Bellatrix is pinned. We know that Lord Voldemort then goes on to possess Harry. And it's interesting because a witness then reports what happened to them. "He was there," shouted a scarlet-robed man with a ponytail, who was pointing to a pile of gold rubble on the other side of the hall where Bellatrix had lain trapped only moments before. "I saw him, Mr. Fudge. I swear it was you-know-who. He grabbed a woman and disabbarapated." I hate that word. Anyway. Since when was Lord Voldemort in the business of grabbing women and fleeing? This is whole funny business. From this moment on, something else happened. Ever since he rescued ever since Lord Voldemort rescued Bellatrix from Azkaban, something was brewing between them. Because since when has he ever gone to not only did this delay his departure, he specifically stopped, flipped the golden centaur off her, grabbed her, and flew off with her like Superman and Lois Lane. No wonder they didn't include that in the movie, because that would have really thrown people. Or actually hinted them, oh, so they are banging. You know. Anyway, moving on from that. It's interesting, in this book, A Half-Blood Prince, Bellatrix never left Lord Voldemort's side throughout the whole of this book. She was glued to him. The only time she did leave his side was when she and Narcissa went to Snape's house to do the Unbreakable Vow with Severus Snape. Throughout the whole of the book, there was never an attack on the Burrow that featured Bellatrix. Bellatrix in the Lightning-Struck Tower, chapter 27, she's not there. It was Alecto, Caro and her brother, the twins that end up in charge of Hogwarts with Snape that go. Bellatrix is not there. The only thing that Bellatrix does in this particular book is protect Draco, teach him occlumency to shield his mind, and weirdly enough, she goes with her middle sister to save Draco. In chapter 2, Spinner's End, that's where Bellatrix helps her sister save her son Draco. Why am I mentioning this? This is really important, because Narcissa was going to go without Bellatrix. Had Bellatrix not gone, nobody would have performed the Unbreakable Vow on Snape, which would have meant that Narcissa wouldn't have had 100% surety that Draco would have been safe. This is really important because it has repercussions later on with Delphini's care after the Battle of Hogwarts. I really do believe that, and we will come on to that. I'm going to either, but I'm mentioning it now. And then in chapter 15, the Unbreakable Vow, Snape offers his help to Draco, and Draco poo-poos it. But it's interesting, in chapter 2, page 27, that Bellatrix believes that the Dark Lord is mistaken in his trust in Snape, and that's the only time that Lord Voldemort should have listened to Bellatrix, because she actually knew what she was talking about. And then in page 34, or in chapter 2, Spinner's End, Bellatrix is convinced that Lord Voldemort shares everything with her. So what on earth has gone on ever since him fleeing with her, apparating off, as they do at the end of that battle, to Bellatrix being virtually glued to Lord Voldemort's side with Nagini? She isn't used. The only time we see her is in Spinner's End. All the other time, what is she doing? Besides incubating her baby, because that's what she's been doing. We then come to Deathly Hallows. Now, this is the cream cracker of the whole thing. There's some sentences in this that confirm everything. And some people are saying, no, it was just master servants. They didn't have a fling. And I was like, really? You've not been watching or reading correctly either. Okay, so this is the flaw in the plan. Spoiler warning, I should have said that first, but come on. It's been over 10 years, people. If you don't know these things now, you never will. Right. Bellatrix laughed. The same accelerated laugh her cousin Sirius had given as he toppled backwards through the veil. And suddenly Harry knew what was going to happen before it did. Molly's curse soared beneath Bellatrix's outstretched arm and hit her squarely in the chest. Directly over her heart, Bellatrix's gloating smile froze. Her eyes seemed to bulge. For the tiniest space of time, she knew what had happened, and then she toppled, and the watching crowd roared, and Lord Voldemort screamed. Why on earth have we got the most dangerous Dark Lord the wizarding world has ever known screaming? I'm just going to leave that there for you. Lord Voldemort screamed. Harry felt as though he turned in slow motion. He saw McGonagall, Kingsley and Slughorn blasted backwards, flailing and writhing through the air as Lord Voldemort's fury at the fall of his last best lieutenant exploded with the force of a bomb. Yeah, I would have really liked to have seen that duel, to be absolutely honest, between McGonagall, Kingsley and Slughorn and Lord Voldemort. We didn't get to see that either in the film. Yeah, there are certain changes that I liked in the films, but this particular is one that I didn't. So we've got a screaming Lord Voldemort, which we know that he does in the films anyway. But the fact that he screamed when she died and then he exploded with the force of a bomb and Voldemort's fury. So not only is he screaming, but he is really angry. This is the only indication that we have that Lord Voldemort has any mutual feelings toward Bellatrix. Because, I mean, yeah, it's not crying. I'm not going to put that past, but it is screaming. And we know earlier that he regretted killing Snape because he says so in this. So, clearly, a bit more than a fling and a bit more than a sperm donor. Also, want to solve the problem. Why is Lord Voldemort bold? Very simply, because this guy, Salazar Slytherin, is bold. It's got nothing to do with Lord Voldemort making Horcruxes and his hair thinning. Lord Voldemort was always going to end up bold. He just didn't grow a beard like Salazar. Salazar's got that goatee wizard beard, being bold. The boldness was always going to come for Tom Marvolo Riddle. It's genetic. It's hereditary. That's why he's bold. Not because he made Horcruxes. Yes, it might have exacerbated his boldness, like sped it up, or made it happen prematurely, but boldness was always coming for Lord Voldemort. It's hereditary. Anyway, that's just my little thing. So I hope you've enjoyed this review / look at the relationship between Lord Voldemort and Bellatrix. There isn't a lot to go on, because Bellatrix is only mentioned 209 times in the whole of the 7 books. But from the pieces that we have, it's very clearly from Order of Phoenix that if he's going to rescue Bellatrix from jail and then rescue her and her alone because she didn't fail him, I'm just going to leave that there. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like, comment and subscribe, and look forward to part 4 where we will be dissecting the cursed child and explaining Delphine, and also getting into the heated debate between Lord Voldemort was asexual and couldn't love anybody. Very much like the Joker and Harley Quinn. The Joker was asexual, couldn't love anybody. They clearly not read the comics. And the other side, oh, they've been in love for ages and we're going to have puppies and rose-tinted glasses. I'm like, no, it wasn't that either. It was a twisted love. It wasn't correct. It didn't function properly. And we're going to explore that. Yes, we know the reasons why Lord Voldemort is supposed to not be able to love, because he was conceived under a love potion. There is that. But there is clearly something crackling off with Bellatrix and Lord Voldemort. Yes, she's sadistic, possibly with a personality disorder, very likely having a personality disorder, possibly sadism. We do not know any more than that. Lord Voldemort, sociopath, psychopath, possibly narcissist. It's difficult to say. Antisocial personality disorder, very likely. I mean, there is this argument that is out there that it takes a bloke with antisocial personality disorder to trigger it in a female that is likely or that is predisposed to have it. There is that argument. But there you go. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this review, and like, comment, subscribe, let me know your thoughts. Bye!